Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Given to temptation, pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. One of my patrons wanted to know what I thought about the trailer for Nate Parker's new film, American Skin. Now, I recently watched the trailer for Nate Parker's film, American Skin, when I did the video talking about how your old black media was trying to tear Nate Parker down. And after watching the trailer a second time, I can say that this is what looks like to be a great film. Now, this film is about a black man who was stopped by the police, and his son, while he was trying to video record the incident with the police, is shot and murdered by these police officers. And after he sees he cannot get any justice from the American criminal justice system, he then sets to take the law into his own hands. And the man in this case decides to go and put this officer on trial. And what it looks like as related to the trailer is that this film is really making a commentary on how a black man, when he is desperate, what he can do to take the power back away from white supremacy. So when I look at this film, I can see why Hollywood wants to try to destroy Nate Parker, because what Nate Parker is trying to do with his films is he's trying to show black men how they can take the power in their lives and how they can take that power back away from white supremacy. And that's a narrative that the white supremacist does not want you to see in film, is to see a black man going out here and realizing the power that he has as a black man and the power he has to take as related to over his manhood, his masculinity, and taking power over his male identity in an effort to go out here and do things like get justice for himself and his family. So a lot of these Hollywood films, they really just want you to see these scared brothers out here, these guys who are lusting after white women, and these guys who are out here looking to buck dance and bojangle. But what Nate Parker looks like he's trying to do is trying to empower the black man through his films, and he's trying to show us an image and an example of black manhood and black masculinity. And with this film, it looks like he's trying to find a way to get that message out there that wound up getting lost with The Birth of a Nation, because with The Birth of a Nation, that film wound up with its message getting lost because the film was about Nat Turner and the film was about that slave rebellion. And what happened was the white supremacists did not want you to see a black man taking power. So what they did was waged a campaign with old legacy black media to demonize Nate Parker, and they wanted to demonize him so that they could make his film fail, because the white supremacist was always planning on trying to sabotage Nate's career, because they saw the messages in his film were about empowering young black men, and they could not have those types of messages being promoted in their Hollywood media institutions. Usually, when it comes down to the Hollywood media institutions, they love seeing images of scared brothers, minstrels, guys who are out here talking about no good black women, gender war. They love seeing people buck dancing and bojangling, or they like seeing big black brutes like we see in movies like No Good Deed and Tyler Perry films. So they don't like seeing images like this of a black man taking a leadership role, a black man taking power in a situation, because they fear that if you see a black man taking leadership roles and taking power, what will happen is all these brothers out here will start to get inspired by these kinds of images, get inspired by these kinds of stories, get inspired by watching this film. And what the white supremacists fear is that if black men start watching movies like this, they'll start thinking about taking power in their communities, start thinking about taking power over their families, start taking power in situations. And a lot of these racists out here, they fear that if a black man starts taking power, he may do what their ancestors did to them in slavery. And that really is the thing that scares them about this film, about Nate Parker and films that he makes like American Skin. And American Skin looks like it's going to be a very powerful film, and it looks like it's going to be the kind of film that really makes you think not about just racial justice, but about what black men can do to take power in those situations. And that's something that they don't really want out here pushed as a message, is the whole idea of black men taking power. Because just like Luke Cage season 2, a lot of people wanted to say, oh, Luke Cage was a bad guy because he was being a man and taking control over his community, setting boundaries and establishing standards, and was becoming the power man because he was taking power. The same thing with Nate Parker. They don't really like the idea of a black man having power. So that's one of the things that I looked at with Nate Parker's film that really resonated with me, is that the whole theme is about black men taking power as related to getting things like justice, because they know they can no longer trust the white man or white people to give them justice. So instead, when they don't want to give you the justice, you take it. And that's one of the things that scares people about Nate Parker, is the messages of his films, the narratives of his films. And I really think we need more films like this, because black men really need to start thinking of themselves as power players and start thinking about taking power for themselves. And that's a message we really need to see more out there for black men as related to the black male image, black manhood, and black masculinity. We really need to see more stories like this. And American Skin really shows us how our justice system is really still black and white, and how black people still can't get justice. But in this case, the man, when he sees that the American justice system won't give him justice, he goes out here and takes it. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, like the patron who requested this video, you can donate to my Patreon so I can continue making more videos like this, pay for the internet, and pay for book covers on books like the John Haynes series on the SJS Direct imprint, which presents a positive image of black manhood and black masculinity. So Patron requested this video, and if you want to continue helping me make more videos, you can donate to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the link in the description box, or you can pick up one of my SJS Direct titles on the John Haynes series, and you can continue to give me support that way. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com.